You're listening to the Flow Friday Sports Show on Flow FM. Time to go into Hume Netball and find out how things are tracking in the Riverina with Aimee Riley, our correspondent from Riverina Netball. Lovely to have you with us, Aimee. How are you?
I'm great, thank you, Alice. It's always a pleasure.
Always great to have you with us. Well, some really cracking games on the weekend in the A grade. So we'll start with the nail-biter of the weekend, Culcairn against the Saints. We said it would be a good old-fashioned dog scrap, and, I think we got slightly more than that in the end, Aimee. A thriller of a game, one goal deciding it 51-50 in Culcairn. Is that their first win this year?
Second, but certainly what a great game from both of these teams. It's great to see Culcairn get their second win for the season, and it was a really tough battle between these two teams for the whole four quarters, every single minute. Hard luck absolutely for the Saints to go down by a goal, but they played beautiful, clean netball, and no doubt with a young developing side, they'll be taking plenty of positives out of it. Culcairn, excitingly, will be carrying plenty of momentum out of that game. They'll be very happy with their growth and consistency of their team and starting to see reward for that. Culcairn's best on were Ella Stevens, Phoebe Packer and Talia Harioka, and BB Saints' Tani Flower.
No murder of crows putting out the Osborne party in Urana on the weekend. 38-70 the final score there in favour of Osborne.
Yeah, a continued display of strength by Osborne, and certainly a mighty effort also from the Billabong Crows as they start to see a few of their A-grade staples coming back into their side. It was a highly contested game throughout the four quarters, with Crows swinging some of their B-grade girls through the court as well. Credit to Osborne for their consistency and their strength in goals. It certainly shows in their scoreline and their ability to score. Osborne's best on were Bridie Willis and Georgia O'Connell, and Billabong Crows were Isabel Bush, Jess Feely and Ella Morley.
There we have it. Big win for Lockhart against CDHBU, 63-20 the final score there in Lockhart.
Another tough break for CDHBU. They've been working so hard and they're remaining so incredibly positive. I have no doubt they will see reward for their efforts, but unfortunately it didn't come that weekend. Lockhart have found their consistent four-quarter form again, and after a few weeks of really tough games and some solid work, they put out a great effort. They started strongly, they got the initial jump on CDHBU, and they just didn't take their foot off. Lockhart's best on were Hannah Keeley and Maddie Robinson, and I don't have CDHBUs, unfortunately.
Not a whole lot in it between Henty and How Long, but we did say it would be a close affair, 36-48. How Long getting the win. Bit of an upset, perhaps, in some ways, to win in Henty there, Aimee?
Henty certainly stuck with How Long for the first three quarters, and unfortunately they couldn't maintain that momentum into the last quarter. The scoreline probably doesn't really represent how hard fought the game was. How Long really showed their consistency, their experience and their discipline with their ability to keep a level head and continue to push throughout the game to get that result at the end. Henty's best on were Rachel Turlick and Caitlin Klemke, and How Long's were Lily Smith and Marnie Gorman.
And Holbrook breezed past Murray Magpies on the road, this one also being in Urana. A 58-35 win for Holbrook.
The first half for this game was actually quite a tight contest between Magpies and Holbrook, with Holbrook holding a small margin at half-time. Holbrook made some positional changes. This allowed them to pull away and they really put the foot down from there. Another fantastic competitive effort from Magpies as a young team to hold a team we expect to be a finals force at bay for part of the game, and maintaining the intensity throughout that is really impressive. Holbrook's experience, their focus and their ability to transition the ball allowed them to pull away. It was Magpies' best game so far though, so many positives for them also, but certainly not taking away from the excellent effort that Holbrook had on the weekend. Magpies' best on were Ash Purtell and Jordan Purtell, and Holbrook's were Claire Marriott, Taylor Byrne and Amy Platt.
20 goals in it between the Giants and Jindera, but Jindera way too strong. Giants probably not even chasing shadows in the end. So how did that one go?
Well, Jindera actually had 4 of their 9 regular players away, so it really showed their depth against Giants as they played multiple B-graders across the court. And the score certainly doesn't reflect the competitive nature of that game. Giants started and finished really strongly and extremely competitively, but unfortunately they couldn't peg back Jindera's 4-quarter consistent effort across the entirety of the game. Defence from both teams was extremely impressive, and it was a lovely free-flowing game of netball as well. Jindera's best on were Sarah Krause and Millie Fawcett, and Giants were Brianna Higgins and Katie Kelleher.
All right, fill us in on how that A-grade ladder's looking at the moment, Aimee.
Yeah, so we've still got Jindera on top. They're separated by 4 points, following with Osborne closely behind. There's not much percentage in it, and then from there, you've got Howlong on 28, Henty on 24, Holbrook on 20, Remmelbundry on 20, and Lockhart on 20. So that 5, 6, and 7 position, they're all on 20 points, and the only thing that separates them is percentage at the moment. So we have talked about it being a really tight race to finals, and it's certainly shaping up to be that. Billabong Crows are in 8th on 12 points. Murray Magpies also on 12 points. Colcan on 8 points. BB Saints on 4, and CDHBU yet to get their win, but hopefully we will see them get one this season. Such a young new side, and we'd love to see that for them. So certainly there is a little bit that separates the top 4 from the rest of the other, from the 5, 6, and 7, and then 8 and below. But no doubt, with how much a lot of these teams have been developing throughout the season, no one's safe, and we could potentially see a fair bit of movement in the ladder, yet there's plenty of time.
Well, we love a close competition. We'll take a look at how you think things might go tomorrow in this competition. So firstly, Osborne against Henty, another great test for Henty. They'll be up for this one. I don't think it'll be too big of a scoreline that separates these two in the end, Aimee.
Yeah, Henty are coming into this game really positive. They're focusing on what they can control and working on their game style, and I think that will bode really well for them. Osborne and Henty will be a great matchup. Osborne, as I said, have shown themselves to be incredibly strong again this year, and Henty have been the real improvers and are shaping up to definitely be a finals force. I do agree. I think this will be a great game, and I know the Henty girls will give it an absolute red-hot crack, but I think Osborne have got that home ground advantage, and that'll likely see them with the win.
CDHBU will find it tough with the visit of the Billabong Crows, or do you see this one being slightly harder to predict?
Crows are certainly finding a lot more consistency and competitiveness with the higher end of the ladder now that they've got a few of their A-graders back. CDHU, as we said, they've been battling really hard, but I likely see that Billabong Crows will take out this one.
Holbrook up against the Giants. Who do you like in that one?
This will be a great game for me. I think this will be the game of the round. Both, again, good improvers moving on from last year and have really shown themselves to be a potential finals force. Holbrook will be looking to use their height, and Giants will just be wanting to play that really consistent, disciplined netball. Transitions will be a key for both teams in capitalising on the opportunities that they receive throughout the game. I think Holbrook will take it out.
Colcan will enjoy going into a test against Jindera, given that they're going into it with some decent form, so probably still nowhere near the fancied side, but at least they're in a decent position to take on this challenge.
Certainly, momentum and belief are two huge positives for any team, and with that comes consistency, and then sometimes winning games that you thought may not be possible at the start of the season. Colcan have come such a long way. They are playing great netball. They have a young side and they're developing really nicely. Jindera have shown themselves to be an excellent force this season though, and on this occasion I do think they will be too good for Colcan.
In Burrumbuttock, Lockhart will have some pressure on them to get the points against the Saints. So how do you see that one unfolding?
Saints will be looking to bounce back really strongly. We know they have a lot of talent and a lot of experience in their team, both from knowledgeable players that are leading the way and young players coming up. Lockhart had a few rounds where they probably not necessarily struggled a little bit but couldn't quite find their form, and they've come back really strong last week, and they'll be wanting to continue that consistency. It'll be a great battle, but it's Lockhart for me.
All right, and we've also got Howlong up against the Murray Magpies in Howlong. You'd assume the home side will be too strong in that one.
Yeah, Magpies, again, a young, new team that have been doing some excellent work and producing fantastic netball halfway throughout the season. Howlong, their consistency and their experience are not to be trifled with, and they've shown themselves to be a force over the last couple of years. Again, expect it to be a great game. I think Howlong will take out the win.
Aimee Riley, always great to chat about Hume Netball with you. Good luck and enjoy the netball over the weekend. We'll speak to you next week.
Thanks so much, Alice. Chat soon.